Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Thursday, January 12th, 2017 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is, this is not your demise, this is your elevation. Or this is not my demise, this is my elevation. So if you've been watching GPS and yesterday, I've been struggling with what is this phrase, this is not your demise, this is your blank. And I love that I've left it blank to be filled in. But today, as I was dancing around, combating the energy, not combating, using the energy of this building to full moon energy to shift myself, the song Elevation by U2 came on, and I was like, oh, that's what this is. This full moon energy that is happening today, this evolution, revolution energy at Master Degree 22 is not your demise. This is your elevation. So, there we go. That is not the phrase that I know that I've heard in the past. However, this is it. Like, that's the bow and arrow, shoot, score, bullseye energy. The goal is levitation. The goal is elevation. And this happenings through the release of emotions, the release of long-held things that can come with full moon energy, and then rising into yourself and into your light. Now, admittedly, this full moon is a challenge because it is a cardinal crossed full moon. That means all the cardinal signs are activated and there can be tug of war and resistance going on. However, it also means there's divine alignment happening and there's an opportunity for centering. And like I said, centering, dropping right in to your light in this energy. It's going to take the power of release, the power of being able to stay with yourself as you're processing these intense emotions. Moon in Cancer, the moon rules the sign of Cancer. So this is a very emotional placement for the moon. But this is part of the power, and this is part of dropping in, is accepting those emotions, being present with those emotions, and then keep elevating yourself through standing with, showing up for yourself in these emotions. So I want to get into the astro just a little bit before I go into showing up a little bit more. Moon in Cancer is meeting up with Uranus at 20 degrees, nurturing your I am vibration. Do not be complacent in what you are not. Find the power to elevate that I am. Elevate and nurture that I am. The moon will then square Jupiter at 22 degrees. So Jupiter is a major part of this action as it's at 22, master level, evolution, revolution energy, evolving our self-love by dropping into our light, by being able to hold your I am and like, yeah, this is who I am. Yeah, I love this energy that I am. I love this energy that I bring. And then we have the sun-moon opposition, which that is what the full moon is. That's when the moon is receiving all of this light and reflecting it back of the sun. And that sun in Capricorn, to me, this month of Capricorn, what the topic has been is showing up. And somebody asked, well, what is that? And so I wanted to go into what this energy of showing up is. Showing up, for me, is about taking responsibility. Now, I don't mean responsibility in the classic term, which means do the things you have to do. Responsibility, to me, I like breaking it into two words. It's your ability to respond to that which is showing up in your life. Basically asking yourself, what do I need right now? And not going outside of yourself for what you need, but rather showing up for what you need. So, for instance, say you need a hug, which is valid. We should all be hugged on a daily basis. You need a hug. You can hug yourself. Now, I'm not saying like you can't go to somebody and ask for a hug, but if you need a hug, there's a part of yourself that's saying, I'm feeling something and I need attention. So your best bet is not necessarily going outside of yourself and moving yourself away from what this feeling is, but rather, what is this feeling and how can I be here for myself at this moment? What is it I need? You know, there can be escapism. You know, we all have our habits of escapism, whether it's food or dancing or, you know, other people's problems, taking on other people's problems. There's lots of different ways that we can push off that responsibility. But showing up is, in this moment, am I showing up for me? Am I doing what I need? Are my needs being met by myself? And so this moon is highlighting this, or the sun is highlighting this, and putting that shine onto the moon, which is like, hey, you got to show up for these emotions that are coming forward because they're telling you important things about the way your life is moving. Emotions are our, signposts, guideposts that are helping us. Oh, no, not that way. Yes, this is the way into the yum, into the light. So show up for yourself. Be present, aware of what's going on for you in this energy. Now, what's also interesting in this energy that could support or undermine this is we have Mercury shifting back into Capricorn. So Mercury shifting back into Capricorn is going to have Mercury at 29 degrees for the peak of the full moon, which is 3:34 a.m. Pacific time. So that means at that time, if you are awake and working with that energy at this time, be clear in where you're aiming. Even as you're releasing this other stuff, be clear in what you're taking that aim with, especially in your mental thing. Like if you're processing the emotions of not enoughness, be like, I recognize that at times I have felt not enough. I recognize there have been times that I have not felt comfortable being myself on this planet. However, here's where we take that aim. I love that feeling when I come into who I am, that feeling of power that rushes through me because I'm igniting my soul. So you get to acknowledge what's going on, but also take that aim. Mercury shifting into Capricorn will then be offline at 0 degrees. So it's going to be in this transformational phase, kind of shifting those energies. Be aware that you don't shift back into the control of like, now I have to control, you have to like who I am. It's not up to anybody else to like who you are. It's just about for you to accept who you are and show up in that responsibility. And then as you cultivate that vibration, your tribe will just be drawn to you like magnets. Just like that. So we have that going on. So don't get caught up in that old control paradigm, or even like as the 0 degree paradigm, don't get caught up in the control paradigm of others trying to suppress you, tell you who you are. You know who you are. You are this divine being. So be receptive to your energy. Throw off those, I can't think of the word, but throw off those things. Be receptive. Let this energy in and let this energy out. Elevate your soul. Elevate your mind. Elevate yourself. I know there's another word. Elevate your spirit. There we go. The other thing that's really interesting that's happening in alignment with this as well is Venus conjunct Neptune. Now this can be a beautiful rose-colored glasses kind of transit. However, highs and lows. It depends what vibration you take. This can be a beautiful time for forgiveness, release, healing of old karmic energies. However, if you're falling into this old control paradigm, you may find yourself, instead of, being receptive to you, taking dip in others, what's the right word? Pools. Well, what I have written here is like, don't dive in unless it's like it's the water for you. And Nicole and I talked about this in GPS. Like, really, don't be swayed by thinking, oh, this is the only thing for me. The magic of the universe is working for you. So unless this is like, yes, on all your soul levels, you're in that alignment, it's in your light, this is elevating your soul, don't feel like you have to do these things. You can get caught in the illusions, and with the Mercury energy at 0 degrees, you may be like, oh, this is a good idea because rationally this is a good idea. And meanwhile, it's like, whew, your soul's like, like stop, stop, collaborate, listen, tune in to what's going on inside of you before you dive into the water. If that water is like, yes, I am your water, then by all means dive in and enjoy the beauty that can come in this energy. Venus, Neptune, beautiful stuff. However, I do feel like, especially because it's with this full moon energy, that it's kind of a completion and release of some old energy. Bless it, kiss it goodbye, and move on into your soul, into your path, into your divine energy. Queen of Cups. I love that card. We also have the moon shifting into Leo later in the day, and so that's going to be like, woo! After this intense square energy. We're still going to be feeling this intense square energy, but your inner child's going to be like, I just did a lot of work and I just processed a lot of these old emotions. Can you please be kind to me? Can we have some fun? Turn up the music, dance, enjoy yourself in this energy because it's going to feel like, I think it's going to feel like some relief after this cross. The good news is this cross, the moon is gonna, move on, and it kind of dissipates. We're gonna still have the cardinal T-square going on. It's tightening and it's in flux through a large part of this year. So we're still going to be working with this energy in part, but the moon shifting will be like a big release in that energy. I also want to say, this to me is like the essence of showing up. Are you participating, body, mind, spirit, soul, in the elevation of your light, in the elevation of your soul? Are you showing up for yourself? Be aware of these escape tendencies. I've got this escape tendency too. The laziness thing. The laziness card is a card that says, hey, life's a journey, not a destination. You're not there yet. What I think of is like the circles amidst the circles. When you drop something in a pond and it's like all those things, there's always these processes going. So this full moon is amazing, slurring my words, amazing ending of things, and yet there are still these cycles ongoing. So take a breath, take a breather, have some fun with that moon shifting into Leo, but then keep moving and keep activating yourself. Now, this card that I have from the archetype cards, Carolyn Mesa archetype cards, I think is really perfect. I have Avenger. I think a lot of us may be feeling this energy. The light attribute, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And so, if you're political at all, you may be feeling this, or even if you're not political, in the world, like there's a lot that's calling for that Avenger energy. The shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of the cause. My 100% wholehearted belief is that the way we show up for ourselves is to show up in love. Open-hearted love for everything. Everything. And so, really recognize if in this Avenger energy, as you're trying to show up for yourself in the world, if there's any violence that's coming up in, through, and with you, this is part of shifting, transforming this leadership energy, is recognizing the violence within ourselves, because it's here that we find, it's here that we change the world, really. It's here that we find the root. So be aware of this in this energy, because those cardinal signs are kind of fighting for control. And so there can be outbreaks of like dominance. And, those dominance happens where you're like, I'm the Avenger. I know what's best to make the world great. Do you? Are you making yourself great? Are you great in yourself? Are you aligned? Have you found your balance, body, mind, spirit, soul? Find this. This is the place to come from. I also wanted to read Rumi, and I'm going to post the whole thing of it on Instagram again like I did with the other card because this is going long again. But Rumi, beyond the threshold of fear. Get beyond the fear to fall into yourself. And the poem is, enter the lion's jungle. Roar, lion of the heart, and tear me open. It doesn't say that, but I always think of that with the lion. Don't think about getting hurt. Fearful thoughts are phantoms of the mind. No one is harmed in this jungle. Everything is compassion and love. It is your fear holding you back, like a bar behind the door. And I'll post the rest of that on my Gaia Blooming Instagram account later, probably in the evening. But that's to take you into this full moon energy. So, be in the flow, feel your stuff, and light up. The world needs your light. The world needs your elevation. That is it for today. You can always book readings at GaiaBlooming.com. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.